Hello, this is Rabbi Mark Angel at the Institute for Jewish Ideas and Ideals. Thanks very much for tuning in today. The Institute stands for an intellectually vibrant, compassionate, and inclusive Orthodox Judaism. Please visit our website at jewishideas.org for lots of articles and interesting material to help in your own study of Judaism. We received questions actually from several people on the following issue. We received a question from a young man who grew up in the United States, who grew up in a moderately traditional home. And it was normal in his family when relatives got together to hug his aunts and to hug his cousins, female and male. And I received another question from a young lady who also grew up in the United States in a moderately traditional home. And it was their normal practice for her to hug her uncles and her cousins, her male cousins. They both went to yeshiva in Israel, and their rabbis told them it's forbidden for them to do that anymore. Namely, that there should be no cross-gender contact whatsoever. A woman shouldn't be hugging her male cousins or uncles, and a male should not be hugging his female aunts or his female cousins. And they asked me, what is the real law on this? And this is a very interesting question, because if you just go to the literal law, then of course there should be no contact between males and females except for husbands and wives and one's parents. But one should not have physical contact with others of certainly not even with one's relatives. However, when we think about this more carefully, we realize that there is a very big difference in the way we live our lives today and the way the people lived their lives when the rules were first recorded many, many centuries ago. In our society, it's quite normal for men and women to interact, and it's not a matter of being closed off one gender from the other the way it used to be in the olden times. So, for example, if a gentleman, a young man, wants to hug his aunties or his cousins, in our society it's considered something that's very, very natural and normal, and there's no erotic overtones to this. There's nothing immoral about it. There's nothing out of line. On the contrary, it's considered to be a perfectly usual and common thing to do. It's a matter of gracefulness, a matter of family solidarity, etc. It's always a slippery slope whenever you say that you could do things which in the olden days were forbidden, but it's also unfair to make demands on modern people that really are not relevant to our situation. So if a male feels that by hugging an aunt or hugging a cousin, a female, that this causes eroticism, it causes inappropriate thoughts, then a person certainly should not do that. And likewise, if a female feels that there's some kind of problem in hugging or touching her cousin or her uncles, then she, of course, should not do that. But if it's simply a normal part of life, it's a social amenity, a social grace, it doesn't seem to me there should be any problem at all. The same would apply to men and women shaking hands. In the olden days, this was considered something forbidden. In many circles in Orthodoxy, it still is considered forbidden. On the other hand, shaking hands literally is between men and women today is a normal, customary business practice. If you're in business, it's a normal social grace. There's nothing untoward about it. It's not considered erotic. It's not considered inappropriate. On the contrary, it seems a little strange for people not to shake hands in the society in which we live. Let me give a little bit of an example from the halakha itself too. Namely, it's permissible according to halakha for a male doctor to have a patient who's female. He can take her pulse, he can touch her, he can do whatever has to be done from a medical point of view. And it's likewise permissible for a female doctor to have a male patient, even though that entails touching or taking the pulse or whatever else is necessary. And the reason given in the halakha is that the doctors are not concentrating on the erotic element of this, their patient. For them, the patient is a patient, is a body in front of them, and they're simply, as professional people, they've compartmentalized. They don't see these people as objects of sexual desire, but they see these people as patients. And because they're able to conceptualize a different kind of relationship with these people, and they are able to compartmentalize, then it's permissible. I would say the same general logic applies to our relationships today. When we shake hands, if a man shakes hands with a woman or a woman shakes hands with a man, if this is done in a normal business or social context where there's no other possible ramification to it, then it's the same thing as a male doctor touching a female patient. It's business. It's normal. You compartmentalize. If the person feels that this is inappropriate, or feels he or she is shaking the other person's hand in order to gain some kind of artificial erotic stimulation, then of course that's forbidden. But if it's simply a normal part of life, then it's not forbidden at all, as far as I can see. Now, everyone's welcome to follow their own opinion on that. I've given you mine. Please, if you have your questions, please ask me. You can send them to me at mdangel@jewishideas.org. So this is Rabbi Mark Angel, the director of the Institute for Jewish Ideas and Ideals, jewishideas.org. Thanks so much, and take care. Bye-bye.